So, you're thinking about taking your nursing career to Dubai? That's amazing. Well, you've come to the right place. In this explainer, we're going to lay out the complete roadmap for you. Everything you need to know from the very first check to see if you're eligible, all the way to your first day on the job.
I get it. You're ready for this incredible career move in one of the most exciting cities in the world. But then you see the paperwork, the verification process, the exam, and it can all feel a little overwhelming. Don't worry. Today, we're going to make it simple.
Here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll confirm your eligibility. Then, we'll walk through the application step by step. After that, we'll decode the exam so you know exactly what you're up against. Then, we'll map out a strategy for success. And finally, we'll talk about what happens after you pass. By the end, you'll have a super clear path forward.
Okay, let's dive right in with the first and most important question on everyone's mind. Do I even qualify for a DHA license? Let's find out.
The Dubai Health Authority, you'll hear them called the DHA, they're basically looking at three main things. We call them the three pillars. First, your education. You need a recognized degree, like a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Second, your hands-on experience as a nurse. And third, your English skills, which you'll usually prove with a test like the IELTS or OET.
Okay, listen up, because this is probably the single most important tip I can give you. The number one thing that trips people up and causes massive delays is a tiny mismatch in your details. A slightly different spelling of your name between your degree and your passport, that can stop your whole application in its tracks. So before you upload a single file, triple check that every name, every date on every document matches perfectly.
All right, so you've checked your documents and you're confident you're eligible. Awesome. What's next? Let's move on to the application itself. It's all done online, and it's actually a pretty manageable digital journey.
You know, the pathway is pretty logical when you see it laid out. You start by creating an account on the official DHA portal. Then you upload all your documents. That kicks off the verification process, and once that's done and you get the thumbs up, you get the green light to book your exam.
You're going to hear the word Sheryan a lot, so let's just quickly break down what that is. It's simply the name of the official government website. Think of it as your personal command center for this whole process. It's where you'll create your profile, submit everything, and track your progress from start to finish.
The next term you need to know is Dataflow, which handles something called PSV, or Primary Source Verification. Think of these guys as professional fact-checkers. They don't just look at the documents you send in. No, they go right to the source. They'll contact your university, your past employers, to make sure everything is 100% legit. It's a really critical step.
And a quick but important heads up about money. This process isn't free. You'll need to plan for some mandatory fees. The two main ones are for that Dataflow verification we just talked about and for the exam itself. Just make sure you budget for these up front so there are no surprises down the line.
Okay, so your application is in, you're verified, and you're eligible. Now for the main event, the part everyone asks about. Let's talk about the exam itself. We're going to decode the blueprint so you know exactly what you'll be facing on test day.
So what are they actually going to test you on? The exam is broken down into these key clinical areas. As you can see, adult med-surg is the biggest piece of the pie. But you've also got to be really solid on maternal and child health, pediatrics, pharmacology, and of course, super important topics like patient safety and leadership.
Now this is so important to understand. This exam is less about reciting textbook facts about rare diseases and more about testing your real-world clinical judgment. It's all about questions like, can you prioritize? Who's the sickest patient on your ward? What is the first thing you do? Can you spot those subtle early signs that a patient is getting sicker? That's the kind of thinking they want to see.
So knowing what's on the exam is half the battle, right? Now for the other half, creating a strategy to actually pass it, hopefully on your very first try. Let's get into it.
Look, a structured plan is your absolute best friend here. Something like this 12-week timeline helps you build up your knowledge logically. You start by just making sure your clinical foundation is rock solid. Then, around week 9, you start doing full-on mock tests to get used to the pressure, and in that final week, you're not cramming, you're just doing a targeted review of your weakest spots. It's all about studying smarter.
And for the day itself, your strategy is everything. Get there early so you're not stressed. Try to pace yourself, aiming for about 1 minute per question. Definitely answer every single question. There's no penalty for guessing. And please, do not let one super hard question eat up all your time. Make your best choice, flag it, and move on.
You can always circle back later if you have time.
Let's fast forward to that amazing moment. You finish the exam, and you see that beautiful word, pass. You did it. So what happens now? Let's cover those final steps that take you from passing the test to actually practicing as a nurse in Dubai.
You're on the home stretch now, and there are just 3 final things. Step 1, pass the exam. Check. Step 2, you take that pass result and use it to get a job offer from a hospital or clinic. And then step 3, and this is the key part, your new employer is the one who does the final step of officially activating your professional license.
Seriously, think of that letter you get after passing the exam as your golden ticket. It's the official proof you take to employers that says, hey, I've met the DHA's high standards. I'm ready to go. It's the document that turns you from just an applicant into a top candidate they want to hire.
So there you have it, the complete roadmap, from the very beginning to the very end. The path is clear. The only question left is, what's your first step going to be? Are you going to start gathering your documents, or maybe book that English test? Your Dubai journey starts right now.